Hello, everyone, and welcome back down here to the Gamer's Den with me, your host, Jordan, your master of lore and storyteller extraordinaire. And I know, 2 videos one day, well, at least I hope it's one day, but at any rate, I am trying to keep myself caught up here, and we are going on with the DM guide. Today, we are talking about using props. Using props to enhance your gameplay, the storytelling, as well as just, well, the gameplay. That's just what it boils down to. Whether you have some of the most sophisticated 3D printed bits of terrain to help set up the map and capture the feel and allow the players to just plan out the strategic movements and plays that they could make over the course of combat, or if you're just even sketching things out by hand on a scrap piece of paper, the very many different kinds of props that you can use will only help to enhance the overall gameplay for your players. Because let's just face it, having something to give them an idea of just even the size of the space, the relative positioning, even if what you hand sketch out is not to scale or accurately represents everything, giving them even the roughest of ideas on what the situation at hand looks like will be massively helpful. It helps for everybody to keep track. And not only that, but once you have a little map of an area sketched out, you can just mark on there, player one, two, three, four, or whatever, initials for their character names are, and then the numbers for the enemies that they're able to see and perceive placed on the map will just help them with keeping track of where everything's at, or at least the starting locations. And one of the favorite standbys for DMs of all stripes, whatever the game, are just the simple 3x5 note cards. Just having a couple of bits of random encounter information listed on these can help immensely when you need to throw something random at your players. Obviously, you should try to set it up so that it fits with the world and setting that you have them stuck in. Well, stuck in. Hopefully, they're having fun and they're just diving deep and digging themselves even further into the world and settling in. But just having a couple of random encounters on hand, if you're having trouble coming up with something off the top of your head, can be a massive lifesaver. It gives you a moment to think as you draw out a card at random, if you want to shuffle the deck or just go with whatever you have on the top. Or if there's one in here that you know specifically would fit and work really well, just find it and pull it out. And that can just be a massive time saver. Is like, for example, this is an old one if you can't tell by how faded everything is. It's a Hobgoblin War Party. I even put the names of the some of the raiders on here: Sargras, Velganash, Corbe, blah 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 blah, something like that. We've got the War Party leader, Hobgoblin 5th level fighter, Hobgoblin mage, and Sunbinder, 4th level cleric. Interesting names I picked back then. And then they're accompanied by an associated number of different skirmishers and riders, foot infantry and light cavalry. It's about 13 people in total there. Definitely not a small party, definitely a challenging random encounter that they can have, but that the players can have, but still a lot of fun. And most of these other cards also have other random things on here, and not all of them are combat related, or not all of them necessarily have to be resolved through conflict and violence. Some can have opportunities for skill challenges listed. But that's just note cards there, just to help save you time coming up with different encounters to throw at your players. Assuming you don't already have anything planned out ahead of time, or just coming up with stuff off the top of your head because of the thorough knowledge you have for the world setting, etc., etc., etc. Another faithful and useful standby to work with is the handy dandy whiteboard. Whiteboards are absolutely incredible because remember how I talked about sketching out maps before? Well, you can use these to sketch out a very large map. You can just get little squares on there and everything. It's not as, visually impressive as handmade or 3D printed terrain, but this still will help out a lot. And if you're dealing with an extensive area, You can still just map everything out as the players go, chart their progress and the like as they make their way through whatever dungeon it is you've put them into. And these work well with miniatures, which are another handy favorite standby. I used to have a small collection myself, but I did give them away to another gaming group that had need of them. Uh, I miss them sometimes, but these work really well with miniatures just because you can sketch out a map and have everything set up. Or if you already have a map and stuff, just lay it out on top. Use a handy magnet to just kind of clip everything in place, and you're all set to go. And also, and then since I mentioned map tiles and stuff before, there's plenty of stuff like that available for purchase. Not everybody has all the disposable income for all these miniatures and the different map tiles, but you know what? For saving time and having something that's pretty accurate to what you have in mind or close to what you have in mind on hand, it's not a bad way to go. The only drawback with the tiles is you have to have a lot of them and a wide variety of them to keep them from being samey over and over again, because if you have only a limited selection to make use of, then the players are eventually going to be like, here's old faithful map tile again. We got the same dark altar right over there. Well, we'll pretend it's not there that time, and we'll start cracking jokes or even just getting bored. But the point is, using various props can help to enhance the gameplay. And another favorite of mine that I still make use of is just writing out little messages, little sheets and stuff. And one of the most recent ones I did was just for kind of a little one-off, one or two kind of adventure sort of thing that maybe we'll pick back up. Is a D20 modern, well, D20 future setting that was kind of a blend of Futurama, The Outer Worlds, lots of dystopian sci-fi stuff like that, just blended into one big thing. And well, to kind of get everybody ready for the event, I had started distributing these different pamphlets that I had written up, photocopied, and printed out. I put them all into envelopes and dropped them off at people's houses. I did this because I'm a crazy person. I did this at around 10, 11 o'clock through midnight at night the day before. Ran around, ran 20, 30 minutes out to a friend's place, and stuck it under his windshield wiper so he was guaranteed to see it. He and his fiance both. That was a lot of fun. They called me in the morning like, "You crazy fucker, what the hell?" They had a good laugh about it. We all did. But it was just information pamphlets announcing the job fair that they had to report to, and attendance was mandatory. Failure to do so for all consumer citizens meant having to report to the orbital HR cannon and experience the process of being fired into the planet's sun. Absolutely had a great blast with the setting, and the information pamphlets just added that extra layer there. And the fact that I had enough ready for most everybody at the table, had a couple extra people show up, and so some people shared, but even still, that just helps set the mood for the setting, because it's a crazy setting. It's all dystopian nonsense, and I am that kind of crazy person that would do that. Granted, these are the people that I did this with have been longtime friends of mine. In a couple of cases, I've known them since high school. So there's worrying about boundaries regarding that is not so much of an issue. If you're playing at an event through one of your Hobby Lobby, not the Hobby Lobby, your gaming stores, shops, sort of thing, anything like that, where you're gaming with random people, I don't recommend showing up to random people's houses in weird, strange hours of the night. Only do this with trusted friends and family that are not likely to shoot you for for sticking stuff onto their cars. Goodness, the more I talk, the more think I sound like a crazy person. But then again, like I said, these are people I've known for forever. So, your mileage may vary. Use sound judgment. Do not just do this with random people, people that you've known for a long time. This can be acceptable for. But that's just another example of a prop that can be used to help enhance the feeling of the setting and get people more invested into the stories that you're laying out. Help them get a feel for the worlds and the settings that you're going to put them through. and that they will hopefully enjoy exploring and engaging with. But these are by and large not the only things available. There are so many different options out there. People are just so incredibly creative and creating so many wonderful things all the time. I mean, there's a wonderful meme going around of that gaming table with all the smoky mist coming from what I assume is dry ice and the skeletal, ghostly looking ship and some terrain sticking up out of the ground. It's like, yeah, we really do need to step up our game. I wish I had the funds for that, but, don't right now. Maybe someday in the far future I will be able to afford this, but I'm assuming in the grim darkness of the far future there will be only war. But with that said, leave your comments down below if you have them. What are some of your favorite props to use as a DM, or what's something really cool that your own storytellers have done to help enhance the gameplay and make it feel that much more engaging and gripping? Please go down below, share, comment. I love swapping stories with people. And if you've been enjoying content so far, well, then hell, why not consider subscribing to the channel? Certainly love to have you here. We always want more members and alumni here at the Gamers Den. And if you have enjoyed today's video, click the like button as well. And be happy to let me know. And if you didn't like it at all, click the dislike button so that way I can be better informed about the kind of content that you want to see here. And also, speaking of more content, I've got videos that are popping up over here about now or in a few seconds that YouTube's algorithms think you may enjoy. But with that said, I've been your host, Jordan, your master of lore and storyteller extraordinaire. Thank you all so much for your time, and you all have yourselves a good night.